Hello. I recently I've been playing a bit with the Actix web framework, and I decided I wanted to find a way to upload files using Actix web, and it wasn't. You know what? It's pretty straightforward. I just didn't find a short video that I liked on it, so all the code that I write in this is going to be in the description. Is it maybe the most optimal? Who knows? There's a clone that I use in here that I think could be avoided, but yeah, nonetheless, here are the uses that you're going to need. Then in order to get rid of the error, we're going to use Actix Web Main, which is pretty cool. You can use Tokyo's main as well in this. That's added, but I decided just to use this as it seems to be convention in the documentation. So here we define a new HTTP server, and we move with a closure. We move all of the stuff inside of it. Post video will be a function that we see later, and then next we need to actually bind a server to this, and it's inside of a tuple of an address, string, and I'm going to say an integer. I'm curious, what type does it actually take? Type A, 2 net sockets. Okay, so that makes sense. Now we need to actually run it, and then we await it. And then that is doing some weird formatting, so we'll do that. And then now we can actually move on to creating some of our structs. So first, we are going to derive this. You might not even need debug in yours, but I like doing this deserialize. So this metadata struct isn't strictly necessary. It was more so just used in an example here. Like if we go to I closed LibreWolf out. So if we go here and we do Actix multipart, I'm pulling straight from this example so you can go and look at it. Here's a curl request I'll be using later. I just slightly modified this so we could actually like save the video. Here's the function that I modified. So if we have struct metadata here, and then we can derive debug, and then here's where the multipart magic happens, and where Actix Web makes it really easy to use. We can create a little upload form struct that gets deserialized. We can actually set the size limit right here with Actix, which is cool. We don't want somebody demolishing our storage space. MP.json from up here. Now, multipart JSON is a type of metadata. So multipart JSON is multipart. Did I misspell? It should be multipart form. Cool. So that's multipart JSON is just imported straight here from multipart. They're here probably just to differentiate between Certa and their JSON stuff. My guess. So next we get to the fun behemoth of a function post. Then slash videos. Then we go pub async fn post video. Then we can create our form object here, multipart form, and then we need to make this an upload form. And then I've written some web framework stuff in Python, mainly using Flask, and I've always returned HTTP responses. With Actix, you can return non-HTTP responses, but I find it less intuitive than your typical 300, 400, 500. I mean, 200 and 100 also exist. Then, let's say, returning a string that implements responder. It just doesn't make sense. And I'm talking about like this. You can return a string directly, and it will return that straight to the user. That convention doesn't make much sense to me, so I choose not to use it. Instead, I choose to use HTTP response. So First things first is we actually want to, as you can see here, I've already tested this, but I'm going to delete this folder. So, dir builder, and type file system, dir builder, equals file system, dir builder, : new. So that will create that. Let's write a to-do here so it doesn't error out entirely all the time. Maybe get rid of that semicolon later, we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So now if we do dir builder and we do recursive, this is a Boolean. We do want it to, what this does is this indicates that directory should be created recursively. And most importantly is it does not error when the folder already exists. So that's needed, but you could also just come up here, do recursive, set that equal to true, and then get rid of that. Can you do that? Doesn't look like it. Seems like it's going to error. An immutable reference to dir builder. Yeah. All right. Do this. Don't do that. Do this. So now, if we go into Mash and we do dir builder.create, and we do uploads, we want to create the uploads folder. Then we do, if that, I like doing the error first, so if that errors, then we can, in fact, return an HTTP response of type new, and then we need to return a status code enum to it. No, it's not an enum, sorry, that's a struct. Then we can sort of just give it an arbitrary U16 here, and then unwrap that result, and then that will return it. We need to actually return it, so it needs to go like that. Then we do an OK, and now we need to start dealing with handling the file. So this part was admittedly, it was generated by ChatGPT, and I have two thoughts on that. One, it's important to understand the code that ChatGPT is writing, and two, ChatGPT is not always correct. So if you're ever vibe coding, or just don't vibe code, go and understand the code you're writing. ChatGPT can be really useful if you're able to use it to generate code like this. Like, I was trying something and I was having a problem with dereferencing and such, and then I decided, okay, let me just use ChatGPT, see if it has any ideas, right? And then spit this code out, which solved my problem, but created another one that will be seen shortly. What's the error here? Okay, cool. So once we look at we'll do the error first. Error is, it's just gonna do this. It's just gonna do this, honestly. So if I go like this and then delete it, that shouldn't do any silly business. Go here, here, then the formatting's all fucked up. That's just great. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. Do this, and then that should be fine. Yeah, okay. It automatically fixed it. We're good. Thank you, Rust formatter. Hooray. So make sure my parentheses line up, my close brackets line up. Okay. Right there, that match arm, we're good. So do okay, and then go like this. And if we need to, we will actually need a mutable reference to the destination file. Not a mutable reference, we just need a destination file. So now if we go here, we need to actually create a file stream using Tokyo. So this is where ChatGPT got it wrong, and where, as a programmer, I came in and fixed what was going on. So right here, this line is kind of unfortunate. I had to include a clone in here, but oh well. What am I going to do? So I put a clone in here to get a straight file stream, and then use Tokyo used Tokyo to convert it to a Tokyo file. That implements this needs to implement, there's a function, here, hold on, I'll just write it out so we can actually see. So Tokyo, IO, copy. Then we pass it a mute file stream and a mutable reference to a destination file. And then we, await it. And then right here, the copy requires the files to implement the async read and write, and the regular standard file doesn't, so convert it to Tokyo file, and ChatGPT had just generated it as a standard file, which of course caused an error. So now if we just take this, then paste that there again, and then it'll automatically format, let's go, array. Then if we go here, and we look at the OK call, and again, now we return an HTTP response. But of this type, OK, because it has worked. Then content type, and then we can do a content type like this, and then do plain text, which works pretty well. Body. Then we need to create a string, so we'll format this, and then you can specify we wanted this. We'll do uploaded file as that, and then we can do width size as that, straight from the example, and then we can form.json.name. We can utilize the JSON that's passed with it, or if you're cool, you can also just extract it straight from it, as ChatGPT did right up there. Then we can do form.file.size right there. Then it puts a semicolon there at the bottom, and then this is all throwing crap. So that should be everything. Oh yeah, well yeah, hey, it works. So let's say we hypothetically want to run this. So I have it saved in a bin folder here, so I actually need to run it, and it'll take some time to compile. And then if we take a look at this curl request right here, so we can see it's making a post request, which if we go right here, we can see that it is a post request. You know, I have already ran this, so I'm going to have both the code and this open at the same time. So if we have the curl request right here, we can see, okay, it's making a post request. We're going to go to the post. It's going to 127. It's going to our local host, which we bind right here on port 8080, bound right here. It's going to the videos. It's going to the videos route, which is also bound right here. And then we take a look at the JSON. We take a look at the JSON, which will get saved into this right here as part of the multi-part data from the -f flag. And then we have the name, which is saved into metadata right there, and of course the type application JSON to pass to Actix to tell it, and then the actual file itself will get saved in this temp file right here, which is pretty nice. So if we actually run this, then we'll see, hey look, there's that little string that we printed right there. Returns straight to the user. Nice. And then, oh, look at the file system. There's cargo.locker right there. Hope you guys liked the video. Click like if you did.